Hello, everyone! We are back. Welcome back, everyone. We have Anne Yatco here.
Hi.
Everyone has been super excited. I've been here for a little bit, and everyone's just been like really, really excited to see you. So
Aw,
yeah. So thank you so much for joining us.
thank you for having
It's
me.
so awesome for you to be here, and just congratulations on your role as the Raiden Shogun.
Thank you.
We all love her so much. Like,
Oh, yay.
lots and lots of big fans of the Raiden Shogun. We have several people who C6'd her. Yeah.
Jealous. So
Yeah.
jealous.
Yeah. Did you I know that you've been streaming as well. Did you want to give like a plug for any of your socials or your stream or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. You can find me on just about all the socials at Anne Yatco. I made it that simple. So Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. I'm streaming tonight at 7 o'clock at Anne Yatco, even on TikTok.
Oh, awesome. Did you end up, because I think I saw that you were trying to get lots of constellations for the Raiden Shogun. Did you end up doing that or?
Yeah, I got her to C3 on the last stream, and I've got some extra Primogems to burn, so I'm going to try again tonight.
Oh my gosh, good luck. I hope that
Thank you.
get all the constellations.
Fingers crossed.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with questions for me, and then we also have questions from the community as well for you.
Awesome.
So the first question I have for you is, how did you get into voice acting?
Okay, so it's kind of a long journey. So I like to start with when I was a little girl. I don't remember how old I was anymore. I saw The Little Mermaid and I fell in love, and I wanted to be the voice of a Disney princess. Like, that's all I wanted, right? And that's still kind of the dream. That's like the top of the bucket list. You know, if I never get there, whatever, but everything along the way kind of like is trying to work up there. But, you know, after that, you know, I as a kid, like, I took singing lessons, I took piano lessons, you know. When I was in high school, I did drama, I did speech club, I did school musicals, I was in the choir, you know, so I loved performing. But also I liked school and I did really well in school. So I went to Marquette University to major in biomedical engineering.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So I have a bachelor's in science degree in biomedical engineering. But the whole time I was at Marquette, I also did theater all 4 years. And I basically took every class I could at the theater. So I was like an unofficial minor, if that makes any sense. Um, but I loved acting. I was in plays and everything. And my mentor told me to audition for grad school. So I did. And I got into the California Institute of the Arts, which is in Valencia, California, just a little north of where I live now. And it's a great school. They do a lot of experimental theater there. I learned a lot. I learned so much. And my teachers were great. And I made some of my best friends there. And after that, I thought that voiceover was something maybe I could actually do, but I also knew that I had to pay my student loans.
Of course.
So I worked as a forensic scientist for 7.5 years while I've been pursuing acting and stuff. So I did accident reconstruction for, you know, types of cases like car accidents, or like someone slips and falls and then sues whatever store they were in. You know,
Oh, wow.
Their lawyers would hire my boss to be an expert witness, quote unquote, to say, like, we looked at all the evidence. We read all the documents, depositions, medical records, took measurements, did calculations, and we've decided that, or not we've decided, but we've determined that, you know, either A, this accident happened the way you said it did, and it caused the injuries the way you said it did, or B, there are other factors that were in play that maybe kind of muddy up the story, or, you know, any number of, you know.
Right. Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, so I was doing that, but I was also doing theater in LA. I was taking voiceover classes. I started booking on my own, and that's when I started, you know, doing a little bit of dubbing. You know, got into my first couple of anime here and there. I did a lot of live action dubbing for a lot of years, which is great. It's where I cut my teeth. You know, it's also very challenging.
Oh, wow.
But you know, at some point a couple of years ago, my husband was like, you really love doing this, and you really don't like your other job, because the other job it's fascinating and it was a very good job and I was good at it, but it how do I explain it? like weighed on my heart a lot to always be reading about and writing about and talking about people's worst days, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that takes a toll on you as someone who's fairly empathetic. But I took the plunge and I quit my day job and was able to fully pursue acting more. So taking more classes, I finally got myself a voiceover agent. I'm with Fox and they're wonderful and I love them. And that got me access to so many more auditions, more studios. And then eventually I started booking really cool stuff like Jujutsu Kaisen and eventually Genshin Impact.
Oh, that's so incredible. So like actually my next question actually kind of goes into your original job because I feel like for me my mother was like so just if you don't become a nurse then you can't do anything. Like
totally.
She's still upset at me that I do, video game broadcasting for a living. So I was just curious, like being Filipino American, did that come with a lot of pressures from your family when it came to your decision to be an actor, or like were they kind of pressuring you to go the more medical route, what you were doing before, or?
Yes and no. I think all Filipino parents kind of have this hope that their child is going to be the next like super rich doctor.
Exactly.
Which I totally get. And I was on the road to that. Like I was pre-med. I was gonna maybe take the MCAT. Who knows? But senior year came around and I was like, no, I'm gonna be an actor. Medical school can wait.
Aww.
And it's still waiting.
Aww.
But my parents, I have a pretty good relationship with my parents. We talk about stuff and, they were upset. Like they were disappointed. They were definitely disappointed. And more importantly, I know that they were just like, they were scared and they were concerned that I was making a big risk, putting myself into over $100,000 in debt for grad school, because grad school is expensive, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Don't take it lightly. But yeah, I think at the root of it, like that's where my parents' minds were at, was just like concern that, I had put all these things in place, but was trying to go a whole different direction, which is part of the reason why I stayed with my day job for as long as I did, was knowing that with that steady job, I could keep paying off my student loans. I could, keep making all my rent. My parents didn't have to worry, it probably also prolonged my journey to this moment, but that's okay. That was my journey. And that's the other thing, is that like everyone's journey is going to be different and how you get here is going to be different if you're trying to be a voice actor, but just keep plugging away in whatever way you can, but don't go broke, man.
Yeah.
Pay your bills.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. School is so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to your role with the Raiden Shogun as well, can you tell us a bit about what the auditioning for that was like? Did you specifically audition for the Raiden Shogun, or did you go for just like any character in Genshin Impact, or?
Yeah. So kind of how it works is like Genshin Impact, like in all games that are ongoing, like they release batches of characters as new content is going to be released, and so they're like, okay, this new content is coming out, here's a set of characters that are going to be released, audition. The instructions to me were like, audition for as many or as few as you want.
Oh, okay.
And that came with I think all of the Inazuma women who have been introduced so far were in that packet, and I auditioned for all of them except for Sayu, because I didn't see the PDF in my packet.
Oh, no.
Before so I never auditioned for Sayu, which is okay. Lily does an amazing job.
She really does. She's incredible.
She really does. But also I was so bummed because like, no, the sleepy ninja, I won that one.
She's so cute.
But Raiden Shogun was in the packet. It was all under a fake name, and all of the characters had fake names,
right.
And like they kind of like faked information. So when I got the email that I had been cast in Genshin Impact, I was like, oh, okay, I was like, I had a feeling, but that was definitely what I was auditioning for. Aww. Cool. And then they said Raiden Shogun, and I was like, who's Raiden Shogun? that's not in the package.
Oh no.
And I hadn't played the game in like months. Like I played the game for like a couple months when it first came out. And then like I dropped it because I was playing too much. And I was like, I should spend my time trying to book work.
Need to take a break. I definitely relate to that.
Yeah, play the game at your own speed, everyone.
Exactly. I always tell everyone, like, just play at your own pace. There's no rush. It's supposed to be super chill.
Yeah. The story will be there when you're ready to come back.
Absolutely. And it's going to continue going for a long time probably. There's just so much stories to tell there. So.
I know. But so like I got the email that I booked Raiden Shogun, and I was like, who is Raiden Shogun? So I just like on a whim, maybe they've talked about her in the game before. So I like Googled Raiden Shogun, Genshin Impact, and then like all this stuff about the Electro Archon pops up, and I'm like,
you're gonna be a god.
Oh my god, what did I book?
That's amazing.
So then I immediately started playing again. If you go back in my social media, that is literally the moment I start talking about Genshin Impact on my social media.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. So, with your role as a Raiden Shogun, playing through, majority of the folks in our community have played through the story already. Everyone's caught up. Since
good. I'm not even caught up.
Oh no,
it's okay. I mean, I know what happened.
Yeah, but the role in general, the character seems really complex due to what is going on like internally. And I'm just kind of curious, what was it like to portray and like act all of those versions, if you know what I mean, of that character specifically?
It's a little tricky to talk about it without like getting too spoilery.
Right.
When I had my first session, and all but one of my sessions were remote. So all but one of my sessions I recorded from home. Oh wow. No one else in the room with me, but everyone on like over the internet. You know, we were using, you know, programs to be able to talk to each other and record remotely. But at our first session, they gave me the rundown of the character. We watched the cutscene. Oh, we watched Raiden Shogun's first cutscene, the one where Toma's all tied up. And then the traveler comes. Yeah. So we watched that, and I was like, "Whoa, this is so neat!" And then like then she like pulls the sword out, and I was like, "It's like Utena." I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I was very confused about what happened when they go into the other world. I was like, "What is this?" Anyway, eventually everything got explained to me. But basically, we went through like dialogue and kind of talked about the two different kind of modes that the Raiden Shogun has. And I would say that for the version of the Raiden Shogun that you first meet, the kind of like razor's edge that I kept kind of like dancing on was this idea of her being cold and unemotional, but not emotionless, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like not a robot. Like
absolutely.
That was like the one thing, like we were like, okay, she's not a robot. So, you know, every time like it started to like dance in that direction, we'd have to like keep steering me back this way.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very interesting. You know, again, spoilers, but then the other mode of the Raiden Shogun, that came a lot more easily to me. Like,
yeah, I can imagine.
You know, being able to be a little more expressive, and even still, then like you've got this character who is functionally immortal at this rate, you know, like she's lived for a long time. She is super powerful. She's also a ruler. So I had to have all those things kind of living inside my head when I performed. You know, I didn't like, you don't want to like think too hard about all those things, you know, like we're not going to make her sound like she's 1,000 years old, but like she's also like really old. She's seen a lot. So, you know, kind of having all those things in the back of your head as you perform, just to like kind of inform how she sounds.
Right.
If that makes any sense. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, my favorite part, like just learning more about the Raiden Shogun and like all of the aspects of herself was during her story quest.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it was the cutest, most wholesome thing.
I know. I like to call it Archon's Day Out.
It literally was. Like it was the best. And my last question for you is, I know that you mentioned it too, that you voiced Nobara Kugisaki from Jujutsu Kaisen, which is like amazing. Like she's such an amazing character too.
I love her.
Like y'all, she uses a hammer like with a heart on it. Like it's literally the coolest thing as like a weapon. But anyway, how did voicing the Raiden Shogun differ from voicing Nobara? Like were there like big differences there? Like because their personalities are quite a bit different. But
they really are. You know, Nobara, what I love the most about Nobara is that she has no filter. Like she will say everything on her mind when it pops up, you know, and they're so liberating to do, you know. And for the Raiden Shogun, for the most part, she keeps so much to her close to the chest. You know, she's such a for the most part like a fairly guarded person. Not that she's mean or cold per se, but that like she doesn't express herself as easily or she's not as forthcoming with all those things. And so that's to me like kind of how they live on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Oh yeah, like Nobara's like definitely more like just will say what's on her mind, and then the Raiden Shogun is definitely more like, I've seen a lot, but like I don't need to like comment on everything basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so I did take some questions from the community.
Sure.
And we have really, really great ones. So the first one that we have is from Half an Unkindness on Twitch, and they asked, how much creative influence do voice actors have versus the writers or directors?
You know, when you get into the booth, you know, it depends. It depends on any project. But, you know, I like to always look at it as it's a collaborative process. I mean, at the end of the day, like someone took the time to write these words. So like, let's say the words, see what happens. And then if everyone in the room decides, oh, maybe it could use a little something different, or maybe like, especially for dubbing, like the translation doesn't seem to like kind of make sense to like an English speaker's ears, you know, or can we spice it up a little, you know, then that's a place where like an actor can make a suggestion, you know, like maybe an alternate wording here, or can I add like a little effort in the middle? Is there space for it? I mean, with dubbing, there's usually not much space for that, you know, but and I'd say like most directors are pretty flexible to at least take the suggestion, if not use it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that some actors are able to throw in a lot more improv into their performances, and I think that's awesome. But yeah, there's room for it for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. I actually didn't know that. I thought that like when actors got like a script, then that was like what they had to follow, and so that's really interesting to know.
Yeah, no, like you know, even in Genshin, you know, I'm in my sessions, and you know, we'll say a line, and we're like, wait, what did that mean? And then we'd have to go and ask the localization person, like, oh, can you explain to us like what that meant in Chinese? And then like, okay, well, how can we reinterpret that so that it makes sense? So that it makes sense in English, you know?
Okay, awesome. And then the next question we have is, do you watch or play any of the media that you're in? And this was asked by Tempest Tio on Twitch.
Oh, yes, I do. I like to. I mean, and I like anime and I like games, so I at least try to. If it's an anime that is being simuldubbed, if I'm working on it, I like to try to keep up with it so that I'm a little ahead of myself, so I know where I'm going when I get into my session. And then if it's a video game, you know, I want to see how it turned out. At least a little bit. Like, so like, you know, what was a game that I did a voice? I did some voices in Epic 7. So like I downloaded the game to at least see the character when like they like popped up, because you did like, there was like a free preview. So I could be like, oh, that's what this gameplay looks like. How fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then Genshin.
Yeah, you definitely play a lot of Genshin on your stream too.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't seen her streams, by the way, they're so wholesome. I love lurking in your streams. They're so fun.
Thank you. You guys, I'm sometimes a terrible video game player, and it is funny to watch.
It's okay, so am I. I've been playing Genshin since launch, and I've played every day, and I'm not good either, so.
I'm right there with you.
But, I love the story, and I love the characters, and that's what, it's what I enjoy the most about it, so.
Absolutely.
So our next question is asked by Cupcake Games on Twitch. Did you have a solo or more collaborative process while shaping the Raiden Shogun's character?
Oh, so that kind of touches on what we talked about earlier.
Right.
So, to go into it a little more, when we were just kind of devising the voice of the character, we just took a couple of lines. I don't remember which ones they were, but I'm pretty sure they were from the cutscene, the sword cutscene. We just took a couple of those lines, and after talking about her personality, all that stuff, I said it a couple of different times. They kind of gave me a little nudge here and there. One of the notes I kept getting was, "Don't make her sound too old. Make her sound younger." I'm like, okay, I'm not sure. Make her sound make this immortal woman sound younger.
Yeah.
No, but just little directions to kind of get me right into the pocket. And then once we were there, we had those lines as a reference. And so every time we had to come back to the character, if I came in for a new session, every time we came back, we would play the reference so that I could kind of dial back in. And then when we had the other aspect, we had to do the same thing then too.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so our next question was asked by Aries Sky on Twitch. Who is your favorite Genshin Impact character besides the Raiden Shogun?
Oh no. Now you make me choose.
Tough question. I mean, you could do a top 5 if you wanted to.
Can I do a top everyone?
I mean...
No, I'm kidding.
Totally, if you want it.
I could, right? Okay, well, let me say this. Here's my team right now.
Okay.
Let's go with that. This is what I main Ayaka, and I have her at level 88, which is so close. And those last couple of levels are so expensive.
They really are. It's so expensive.
Crap! What do I use? And I use Xingqiu because I love him. He's so helpful. And Yanfei, which I just got her in the last banner, and I'm loving her. So I'm trying to level her up super fast. Yeah, and Razor, because Razor's my good boy.
Oh, he's such a good boy. I always make jokes because one of his voice lines are, I think I want to say that it's Venti. Venti's voice lines say that he's stinky. So I always tell people in chat, I'm like, oh, it's a stinky good boy.
Yeah.
But that's an incredible team. Those are wonderful characters. We were just talking about Shincho earlier too, and how useful he is. Not only is his character amazing, but he's just very useful.
I know, which is why he's multiple. So I always do a 1-2 combo of Xingqiu's E and then Ayaka's E to freeze the enemies.
Yes, perma-freeze. That's amazing.
I just spam that.
All right, so our next question is asked by Juiced10 on Twitch. Did you do the 2 vocal personalities in different sessions?
Yes. So
cool.
It took me a few sessions to get through the first one, the original one. And then after that, then we went over to the other one. And there was maybe one session where we did some content that required both in the same session, and we just did one and then we did the other.
Oh, okay.
So there was never toggling back and forth. It's a little difficult to toggle back and forth, especially when the 2 modes of the Raiden Shogun are so vocally similar.
Right.
If I was doing an old woman and a little boy, that's a little easier to toggle back and forth because you can hit the pinpoints a little easier. But if they're closer, it's harder to go back and forth.
Yeah, because they that's what's so interesting too, about playing through the story, and then, you know, hearing the same character, but like you can clearly tell there's like such a huge difference in personality and who they are. Like, you're so talented. Like, it was incredible.
Oh, thank you.
It was so cool. It was so cool to experience. Okay, so yeah, of course. So our next question is asked by Arabeth on Twitch. What is a role that you've played that made the largest impact on you as a person, and how has that role affected you going forward?
Oh, okay. Trying to think. I mean, this is a cheesy thing to say, but like almost every role that I play, like there's a little piece of me that lives inside that character. I mean, there has to be, right? Like as an actor, you bring yourself to a role. That's such a cheesy thing to say, but
no,
yeah,
it's not.
but there is, in order to be able to access a character, there has to be like something in you that resonates, right? In order to be able to kind of like access them, even if they're a terrible person. Like even, you know, even the cold Raiden Shogun has a nugget in there that like I resonate with. I would say Nobara is super close to my heart, mostly because she's the character that I've played the longest. Like I did a full 24 episode season with her. And also that like there are parts of her that's just like super resonate with me. Yeah, I just she makes me happy.
She's wonderful. Like, I love her so much. Like,
she has such a wonderful message for women too, which I
my
love.
Gosh. Yeah, she really does. If y'all haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen, you need to watch it. It is
Do it. You don't even have to watch the dub. It's fine. I don't care. Just watch it.
Watch the dub though. Watch the dub. But our next question, asked by Kamarith on Twitch. How important is it for you to relate and understand a character you're voicing?
Oh, 100%. You have to know who they are, you know, in order to be able to perform as them, right? You know, even if you're in a place where you've got a character that you don't know all the information about yet. You know, there's a lot of times like you voice a character and it's like, oh yeah, this is who they are now and they're going to change later, but you maybe don't know that information yet because story hasn't gone there yet, you know, or they've kept that information from you for reasons. But you have to know in any scene, you know, like who are you talking to, what is your relationship to them, what do you want from them. There was probably another one in there. Acting school. That's fine. Those things.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's good, because sometimes when you're seeing a character on screen too, and it's nice to know that the actors, you know, have that connection as well. Like they know that about those characters.
Yeah.
So
we care. We really do care. like your small little one-offs. Like there's at least one thing that you can like kind of hold on to about them. You know, like in Genshin, I'm that little boy Shota, the one who's praying at the shrine that you have to keep like helping him like give offerings.
Yeah.
I'm Shota, and so like there's like one thing about Shota, it's just like he wants stuff so bad. He's just so earnest, and like that's the one thing I can glom onto.
Oh,
for his one line. But yeah, you know, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I love that. So the next question asked by Willows on Twitch, what were your thoughts about the Raiden Shogun first glance?
She's so pretty. So pretty.
I relate to that. She's very pretty.
She's so pretty. No, like she's so pretty, and she's so strong, and she's so confident, and she's so like singularly minded. You know, I mean, you know, for better or for worse, you know, she has a thing and she is going right for it. Yeah, she's so complex because of that, right? You know, she has her reasons for why she's doing what she's doing, but clearly like what she's doing isn't good. And so I think it's interesting that the story quest kind of gives you like the other side of it to kind of flesh her out. Excuse me. And so I'm really excited to see if when we get more content about her, like where does where we leave off from the story, where does this go from here? Mm-hmm. Like, what's she gonna do now? Well, now that she has to go back into the plane and think about it forever.
she's gonna hang out and just meditate for a bit longer.
Exactly.
Yeah, I really liked how complex they made the Raiden Shogun too. I just love characters that aren't just like, that are multifaceted. Mm-hmm. So, and she is just so multifaceted. I mean, besides her being pretty, we all thought the same thing too.
Right.
We're like, she's so pretty.
So pretty.
Okay, so our last question that we have from the community is asked by Sewer Pigeon on Twitch. Genshin Impact fandom has on several occasions become yet another example of fans becoming overly familiar with actors online. What kind of tips can you offer to the community to respect the personal boundaries of actors?
That's a great question. And that's not it. Yeah. And that's not even just like Genshin actors, but just like voice actors in general. Like, I see that on Twitter. Here's what I'd say. There is one of me, and there are however many of you out there. Thousands, hundreds of thousands, whatever. So there's only so much of me that I can give to you. And I have to be able to choose for myself how much that is before it becomes too taxing on me. And so asking you to respect my boundaries as an actor and as a person of interest on the internet is really just about protecting myself for, and and conserving my energy and my efforts, because if I can continually give X amount of energy to you, or whatever that is, then it allows me to be able to continuously do it, rather than trying to give you all of me at once and then I have no more energy or resources to be able to do that ever again. If that makes sense.
Yes, it does perfectly. And this was a question that I was really, really appreciative that somebody sent in, because I do think it's important for the Genshin community and all communities to respect actors and anyone who works on media, to respect their boundaries, because that is another person and you don't know them personally, so respect them.
Yeah. But again, like, I as an actor appreciate everybody's enthusiasm and love for the roles that I play. Just give me the space to be able to give you as much as I can when I can.
Exactly. Yes. Okay, well, that was honestly all I had for you.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
These were great questions. Thank you. And thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you so much and appreciate your time. And like I said, there's so many fans of the Raiden Shogun here. I do this thing on my stream where I let the community poll on my stream for the characters that come out, and
nice.
We had a huge list of people polling for the Raiden Shogun, and
yay!
It was wonderful. So we are huge fans of you, and just thank you so much for your time and for all the work that you do on Genshin.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Did you want to do one last plug for any of your socials or anything that you're working on or anything like that?
Yeah. You can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and on Twitch, Anne Yatco. I'm streaming tonight at 7. Gonna pull for the Raiden Shogun some more, so come check it out. What else am I doing? Yeah. Also, what's what I'm looking for? If you are watching anime, I'm on To Your Eternity as Tonari, little mischievous scamp. She's great, and the show is fantastic. If you need a good cry, come watch To Your Eternity on Crunchyroll.
Oh my gosh, I will definitely start watching that, because I could always use a good cry.
It's so good.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much again for being here, and
thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, you too. Bye, everyone. Thanks so much.
Bye. Ooh. All right, y'all. That was our interview.